Hello everyone. You might be wondering, how do I play a trader? Well, it's simple. You buy low and you sell high. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, so maybe you wanted a little more than that and you're wondering why you should actually start off as a trader, what are the perks and benefits, so on and so forth. Oh, first thing is you get yourself a pack bull. Now he doesn't look like much for the moment, but if you know anything about the animals in Kenshi, they start off as a teen, they go to an adult, then they go to elder. If you can keep them alive to elder, they get pretty nasty. And that's not to mention their AoE attacks. These guys will body lower to medium level enemies, such as like starving bandits and dust bandits and so forth, when they get up there. So they can protect you quite well. Another benefit is the faction rep. You start off with 75 with the Traders Guild. So you're automatically going to have in just about almost every settlement on the map, at least that's human anyway, and I believe some Shek, is you're going to have people who are allied to you, which means they will bandage you, they will pick you up if you fall, they will protect you. You're going to have caravans that wander the world. Maybe you just want to be like a guard. So you start this and you just pick a a caravan going out there and you follow them around and you guard them. Maybe that's how you play. I don't know. You could even use this as a thief character. Maybe you want to start off as one of these guys, and you say, you know what, I am going to use this as cover to go into town. I'm going to sneak around to go to places I shouldn't go, and you can do that. So your options here are quite extensive in terms of what you may or may not want to do. First off, we need to set our pack bull to protective, to bodyguard. There we go. Now he'll follow us. But let us assume you want to play as a standard, normal, quote unquote, proper trader. What does that look like? Well, again, following the adage of buy low, sell high, that's going to be our friend. Of course, what we don't know is where the low is and where the high is. So we can look in our inventory here. We already start off with some goodies. Now, because we've not visited a shop, it's not going to give us the percentage of the over-under. So you can see here we just have the sell value, the average value, but we haven't visited a shop yet, so none of our items are going to tell us what they're quote-unquote selling for. So let's do that. Let's go here. It's a farm shop. That's fine. You should have normal supplies. So we'll pop in. And we'll say hello. How do you do? Show us your supplies. Okay, so we can see here our luxury goods sell here. Oh, and let me just show us where we're at. Oh, okay. There we go. We are in Henge. This is where you will start as the trader start. So we're not really, not that Kenshi is safe by any means, but we are in one of the least safe areas you can be in. But that's okay, because we can get to safety. If we want to go to safety over here, we can. That's not going to be difficult. It's going to require a little patience, but we don't have any cats yet, so patience is difficult. But we're going to fix that. So we're going to attack this guy. We're going to pause just so our, not so much for our hunger meter, but our pack bull's hunger meter, you can see, is at 2. So he's going to be a hungry lad. But so we can see here our luxury goods, their average price markup in this town is at 112%. So its standard value is 270, or sorry, it's 240 average market price. It's going to sell here for 270. So this is a pretty good deal. We want to take that. We're going to look at this 97%. So that's going to be obviously below its average price marker of 70. So for the moment, we're going to hold on to these. We don't quite need the money, and I'm going to use these sort of as an example later on. So we're just going to hold on to those. So what we're going to do is we're going to trade those to our pack bull. You'll notice he does not go inside. But the pack bull does start off with a really nice backpack, and things do a decent job of stacking there. But what you're going to see is, even selling those, we're not really at a lot of cats. We don't have a ton of money. But it's not going to matter, because we're going to fix that up real quick. What we're going to do is get some food. Because again, our pack bull is hungry. we're sort of hungry, but we have 2 Gohans, and they have a lot of nutrition. So for our main guy here, those Gohans are gonna tide us over for quite a while. So what we're gonna get for our pack bowl is a bunch of cheap meat, and that's good. So we don't have to worry about our pack bowl here starving anytime soon. However, you can see we are at a, we're not doing so good on the cats. We need to make them. We need some seed money. Now there are a couple ways we can just. I want to try to find a general shop. Here we go. So let's go to general shop, and there are, again, this is all up to you as to how you want to start off as a trader, what's interesting to you, what restrictions you place upon yourself. But I'm going to show you how to make some good seed money to start off with. So again, you can see here this fabric, it's at 92% of its average price. So you could buy this here, and then anywhere that sells it for 100% or above, right, you're going to get a pretty good profit margin. And you can kind of see what things are selling for in the town when you're looking these over. So when you're looking at items, okay, let's backtrack. Kenshi, when you populate the world, is sort of where it begins to dictate what towns are selling things for and what they're buying them for. Now, some places will have kind of static desires, things that they actually really want, things that they will pay more than others for. So, for instance, you see cities here will often pay for things like sake, for the grog, the blood rum, hashish that you can just so happen to get in the swamps and peddle your way over here and make a lot of money if that is something you want to do. Of course, whether it's legal or not, whether you get bag checked or not, these are all things that you may have to contend with. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to kind of show you the overall basics and what I would call honest, quote unquote, money making as a trader in Kenshi. Now, you don't have to do this as a trader. You could do this as any start whatsoever. It doesn't matter. Again, we're doing this as a trader, so we're going to see. You can look at different items here. They will all have, again, over here you can see some items, they are the markup, and that's also what they're going to pay for. So you can make some pretty good money selling certain items here. And if we can find anything that's low, we can try to find some place that will offer us a better price for and make a good bit of profit. But as we can see here, nothing here is super great. Again, water at 90%, but water itself doesn't have a great sell value to begin with. So even if we found something at 110%, we're not really making any cats off that. So we need to find something that has a large value to it already that will then sell for a good percentage higher. So, this again with your own restrictions in place. Maybe you say you're only going to stick with certain items. Personally, I like the skeleton repair kits. They have a great base value. You can see at 4,600, average price at 43. So any of those you might sell to this town, you're going to make a small but decent bit of caps off of. But that's not what we're doing. Before we get off onto that, worth noting, this is just sort of a down and dirty version of how it works. This is not strictly speaking 100% how it works. From what I could find on the Wikipedia, well, not Wikipedia, but the wiki itself, the Kenshi subreddit, my own testing, as I understand it, Kenshi has, when it populates, it rolls values for everything, for what each town has in terms of a variance of a plus or minus. I do not know the amount that variance goes by. I could not begin to tell you. I have not dug into the game to see if it tells me. I'm not quite that smart, but whatever the case may be, we don't necessarily need to know those specifics. Chances are, if a town sells something for below the average value, chances are it will hold to that. What might change is by how much. So what we're looking for is, again, those items that sell for a lot and the cheapest, lowest value we can find for that. But again, to do that, to get a real jump start, we need that seed money. We could start with fabric, and we could run fabric somewhere and make 10, 15 cats off that per sell. And that, of course, would work, but that takes a lot of time. And depending on your restrictions, maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. I'm not here to tell you how to play as a trader. I'm just going to show you how to make some seed money starting off in a pretty quick time to really get yourself set up in Kenshi cats-wise. And as we all know, if you have the cats, Kenshi itself is, your oyster. Generally speaking, this, again, big generalization, the farther you get away from the place of origin that you bought the item, the greater it will sell for. And that, of course, will be dependent on whatever built-in variance, and that will also depend on whether or not that town or that region has a built-in demand for a certain item. Some of these will make sense once we get there, and we'll kind of go over that once we do, but I've rambled on enough. It's time for us to make some money. So we're going to do that. We're going to go south. We're going to go this way. And hopefully along the way, we will find ourselves a weapon. And we should go a little, so that's the walk. There we go. Got to make sure our pack animal can keep up with us. So the first thing we do is hopefully find some kind of sword or stick or something that we can bust the door down with, because we're going to need that. And what are these guys? Oh, this is perfect. Okay, we're going to piss these guys off. Beautiful. And we're going to go right back here. Oh, this is so good. Come on, fellas. Let's do this. And we are going to fight. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a pack bull fight, but he's pretty awesome. Except when he's getting his butt kicked. But he does a lot of damage. It is that charge, which is cool as hell. He doesn't have any armor, so whenever he gets hit, it ain't great. But that's so cool. I love that. That charge is so great. It's okay. We're going to fix that. But this is also important. We got ourselves a weapon, which is good. We have a hat, which is also important. We've got all that. And we'll wear the shirt. Why not? He doesn't need it anymore. Come on. Get in there. Swing. Look at that. Big damage. Yeah. And that's some early money. No. We're going to patch up a bull, though, because he ain't looking so hot. But that's all right. Sometimes these guys might accrue a bounty. And if they do, we can turn them into a police station. Get ourselves a little extra money. It's never a bad thing. Ooh, he did. Okay, so we are hopefully going to get to him before they come back. That's good. That's not bad for us. We will take any early money is good money. And bandaging up is okay because again we start with 2 standard first aid kits. That is pretty awesome for us. We are glad to have it. And pick up. So just like that, we're going to go to the police station, which is, there we go. It is right here. So that's actually not a bad start. This is not too uncommon a start. I've had this in testing happen several times with different enemies at different places, attacking the guards and getting a bounty, and then we get ourselves some just some early cats. They're not a lot of cats, but it's good for getting some food. So look at that. Got ourselves 1100. We have even less food concerns than we did before. But poor little pack bull is beat up. That's okay. He survived. Let's get down there and help out. So vagrant. You know what? We are going to attack you unprovoked. I guess it doesn't matter. But so we have. Look at that. Look at all these goodies. This is perfect. This is actually not a bad start. This is actually a pretty good start for us. So this is actually kind of what we want. Sabers are great. I'm a fan of sabers. we're actually not off too badly. Okay, so you can see we are in eye socket. We're south of henge, and this is the eye area. This is gut. If you just follow right along that path here, it's more or less safe. This area is pretty flat enough that if there's anything walking about that's dangerous, if you're actually looking ahead, you'll see it. So nothing there should surprise you. But we did pick up from henge, from those vagrant fellas, a bone dog. So you can see the pricing we're getting here, this average markup, is what it would be in henge. So it's not going to update until we check here. So let's go in, have a look, and see what this might sell for. So you can see it's changed. So now it's here 97%, 111. So we are glad to sell that here, but maybe we hold on to that. Maybe, we're not too keen to sell it for under its average value. But that's worth noting because whenever you look at a price on something, it's always going to be at the last town you visited, wherever that was, whatever those prices were. That's what it's going to show you. So if you went somewhere where the prices were, the value was higher, it's going to show you the higher value. If you go somewhere where it's lower, then obviously you're going to get the price markup that is lower. So don't just look at the item and go, oh, this is what it sells for. That's just what it would sell for at the last shop you visited, wherever that shop might be. Now, I've had some of the aggressive ninja fellas come and attack this place. If you feel like sitting around, you can get some armor, some other gear, make some more cats. That's totally viable. That's fine. But we're going to keep moving. And we are going to have ourselves a hopefully safe trip right down to here. So you can see we're in eye socket. We have Brink. Brink should be right over around in here-ish. And then we're going to keep moving south. Okay, so from Brink, we're almost there. You kind of want to see and follow, if you kind of think of this as a road right here, you kind of want to keep to that, because over here is the Unwanted Lands, and you get a lot of big things, and over here is Venge, and other than the sky lasers, you can get beat up by those roaming headless thralls, so we don't want any of that. So probably the safest way when you hit Brink is just to follow my cursor here, and think of this as like a road, and just, you can kind of see a road over here. You kind of want to just keep to this. It'll kind of generally keep you safe from either side. However, I wanted to stop here because you have this tower here, which I think is pretty nifty. It looks cool. And if I can get the camera to stop bugging out, we can get a better view of it. There we go. It's got little satellite dishes and so forth on it. What's interesting is you can click it. And it's a Comms Tower Ruin 01. Which means there are more than one communications tower ruins. But I'm not aware of many ruins in the game outside of things that might be something you can enter, or a building, or some kind of NPC structure that you can actually click on and get a name. So that, at least in my knowledge, is fairly uncommon, and I thought it was kind of cool. Alrighty, as you can see, we are at the Lost Armor Store. It's an armory. You can see it's tucked away in here. The route down here again is relatively safe. However, once you get into this realm here, it becomes quite a bit more dangerous, especially as we can't really defend ourselves against anything. You're going to have land bats, which are like really dangerous mutated opossums. You're going to have the southern hivers that might roam about, black gorillas cruising. They generally won't take you anywhere, but if they touch you, they're just going to one-tap you. So be mindful, look ahead. As long as you're patient, you'll be okay. And this is why we needed the weapon, so we can bust down this door. So you can see we're almost there. And we'll just speedify that up. That's because I'm not a total jerk. Alrighty. Time to see what goodies lay in wait for us. So we will masterwork. I will begrudgingly accept masterwork armor. I mean, someone's got to take it, right? So specialist grade armor, someone's got to have this. We're going to go trade this out. Um, yeah, so already we're at some masterwork armor. I don't know how much of this is static or not. I've had some of this masterwork here before, so I think it is fairly defined loot, but I am not one to make that guarantee of a promise that you will always find said things of loot here. Come back. Where are you going? Thank you. But if that holds true of masterwork, that's pretty great. That is not bad. And horse hopper, yep. Okay, so I think these appear to be static spawns. I've had this happen now a couple times. Again, I'm not confident enough to say that these will always happen, but where are you going? I'm confident enough to say that it might, maybe, will happen, which is pretty good. I don't know why he's, going all wonky there. That's okay. So we got some goodies, but we also have a couple locked chests here. Oh no. Whatever will we do? We don't have the ability to pick them. I wish there was someplace really close to the south that we could go that had tools that we could loot to open those for more goodies. Ah, dang. Shoot. Drat. Well, that's just a shame. Alrighty. As you can see, we're in Expedition 4, which leads me to believe there is a 1 through 3 out there somewhere. But this is why we stopped. You can see there is a lot of things here we are going to pick up. And rather than make you watch me pick it all up, I'm just going to go do that and come back. But your keen eyes might see a couple things here that I came here specifically for that I might have alluded to a minute ago. Okay, so this is our efforts from looting the Expedition number 4. And some of you eagle-eyed viewers I know are already seeing what we came here for. Lots of shinies, but 2 tools. And how many of those locked chests, safes were there? Oh yeah, 2. So let's go back and let's see what RNG has in store for us. And we are back. And we need to make sure we have the tools in our actual inventory, or else the character will not know they have them and will not use them. So we're going to pop up here. The travel back here was relatively safe. Ready to some land bats, but as you saw, you just run away from them, and eventually they get tired and they give up and they go somewhere else. So we're going to use our tool. As you can see, we have a hell of a long time to go. So I'm going to open up both this one and that one, and then we'll loot them. So, oh man, I'll be back in 800 seconds. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. Is all that worth it? And okay, that's something. Not what I wanted to find, but I'll take it. But this is what we wanted to find. Masterwork boots and the pole arm. And I like pole arms, so I'm not mad about that. We have some cats. I've seen more spawn in here before. I don't know how much of this is a static spawn or not, but we'll take it. We are going to be very happy about that. So I definitely think that was worth going and grabbing from there. Now, for this, we're going to give him that. Oop, get over there. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Okay, it's okay. There we go. There it is. It's all right. Okay, we're all fine. But not, as Billy May says, we're not done yet. There's still another place we need to go, and that's a way station off in this direction. It's busted, and we are going to salvage it from what remains. And this is probably the biggest danger in this area. All these land bats. Look at them. There's more than a few. So when you travel in this area, make sure you're always... Are you guys done? Let's pull back. There we go. Make sure you're always looking ahead, because if you're running into these guys, they won't eat you, but they may punch your lights out, and that might end your run real quick. Okay, so we have left the Lost Armor store, totally looted, and we are at the Way Station Ruins. And you can kind of see on the map here, this little, almost like a road that follows along this way and brings us right to here. So it's pretty straightforward, generally pretty safe. The most danger I've come across here are the reavers, and sometimes you get a pack of scavengers. But again, it's fairly flat, so as long as you're looking ahead as to where you're moving, it's kind of safe. I mean, it's Kenshi, so it's not safe, but it's about as safe as Kenshi will let you get. There's usually enough room to see what's ahead of you and to kind of maneuver around it if you need to. But the reason we came here is all of this. And some of your keen eyes might see some pretty good things to pick up. So we're going to pick all that up. And for that which we can't, we're going to make room for. So as you can see, we are pretty chock full of goodies. And yet, there's still so many nice shinies to pick up. And you might be wondering, why haven't you picked them up? Well, this is Kenshi for you. You can see they're in the house, and it's got stairs. And he won't go up the stairs. He'll go this far, and oh, no, no farther. So all those goodies you think you're getting, for some reason you are not getting. And no matter which direction I've tried to go, I've tried this multiple times, at different saves and different playthroughs, I cannot get into this house. So despite all these wonderful, expensive, look at all the skeleton bits in here, just, the game is taunting me. I want this, I want all these, and this game won't let me have it. I mean, sometimes the game is your own worst enemy. But that's okay. We're not greedy, right? I mean, we are. But we've got some goodies here. We've got a lot of very pricey, expensive goodies, and we're going to make bank off of this. You can see we've got out of this some masterwork boots. Wherever I put them, there they are. Those are pretty badass. We're going to keep those. The specialist armor drags. This is actually pretty good armor, except for the stomach at 20%. But if you're playing a hiver, your stomach chance to be hit by is so low that this is actually really good hiver armor. So that's actually not bad for them. But we're keeping the black plate jacket here, not just because it's masterwork, but it's acid res, the resistance. And that goes along with our straw hat. And you probably can maybe guess where we're going, but if you can't, stay tuned. I'm going to show you. Right now we need to take all these goodies back up north. Okay, so as you can see, we're now in Black Scratch after having done this sort of triangle of, well, not to the outpost, but from to the Expedition 4, there and back and over to the Way Station Ruins. Our fellows are kind of hungry, so we want to make sure we get them some food because we have a little bit more of a trek to make. But while we're here, we definitely want to sell what we can at a good value that we can. So we can see here, this wrench, 114% markup. That's pretty good. We will sell. 107%. We are, oh, he's out of money. So, you know, well, we did sell. We can see that these grind machines are just a flat, their value stays the same. And I've tried this at different outposts, different places. Their value holds. So those are always a good sell. Armor. As you can see, armor and weapons tend to give you anywhere between a quarter and a third of their value. So it doesn't make any sense to try to buy them somewhere and to sell them somewhere else. They're always going to be at a loss if you do that. The only time you should pick up armor is if you find it somewhere, like I have. Same with weapons. But it's late, so we're going to wait till morning. We're going to hit the other shops, sell what's worth selling, and then we are going to head back up here and finish our jaunt onto making big time money. So as you can see by our money now, we're looking kind of pretty. However, we have not sold everything. I sold the Masterwork polearm because 5,000 cats is tough to say no to, and I can always buy one of those later on if I want to. However, in keeping with the trader kind of motif, some of these aren't selling for as much as they could. Now I know they're not. It's not like they sell for a ton as they are, except for these power cores. But 85, 90%, that's just not going to do. So we're gonna, we're gonna keep to the idea of trying to sell at 100% or more as we can, because that's kind of why we're playing a trader, and it's going to pay off for us. But right now, we're not going to sell all those. We're going to sell those elsewhere. However, Black Scratch is a great place to come to after we've gathered all that up, because they have just so many different shops that they will have enough cats for us. Even if we wanted to, we could sell every single thing we gathered, and we're going to be sitting even prettier because they just have so many shops to sell to. So when I mentioned variance before, this is one of the ways it can happen. In previous tests, the skeleton repair kit had an average price markup of 75%, which was kind of insane. However, you can see here it is at full blast 100%, and the standard authentics are at 104. And this hacksaw, which is at now 108%, which I'd been holding on to for an example later on, is now, previously was like 80%. So here's 108. So this is pretty wild. So these are kind of some of the variances you can expect. So it's not just like a couple points here or there. It can go anywhere from 75% all up to 100%, or potentially even more. I do not know the range, but it's pretty big. So we're going to sell, we can sell these here, but I kind of want to hold on to them. I want to find a better place to sell my repair kits to, because that's a pretty good money maker if we can do it. We'll sell that. 99% is it's okay. We just want money right now. 93% not great. 81% not great. So initially, if this is at 75%, I was selling them to the skeletons over here, and I was making just insane profit. But this playthrough looks like we're going to have to find something different. And so it's kind of something interesting about this is this won't be the same. You and I may have very different variance in luck between what various merchants are selling for. So hopefully we can find a better route between our buy and sell, and hopefully around the skeleton repair kits, because for their base value at 4,300, anything below that and beyond that is a huge markup in value. Okay, so I've made it to the Black Desert City, full of the skeletons. And so we can see here that they are buying skeleton repair kits for 102%. So we're definitely selling those here. Our armor plating, 103. Oh, he's out of money. That's okay. Well, it's a good thing there's a couple shops. But that begets the question, who is selling skeleton repair kits at 75% markup? That is what we want to try to find if we are trying to do skeleton repair kit trading. So we've got some places to check, and hopefully places that actually have them in some kind of bulk, because one or two ain't gonna cut it. So we can see here 94%, 9%, 88. For the hell of it, we're just gonna sell. This is not bad. Not great. We're gonna hold on to one just so we can, look around. But it's pretty good. It is not bad. So we've got a couple places we can check. Because we are not a hiver, we can go to the hives. So we might try one of the hiver places over here and get an idea of what they're selling their kits for. And if we're feeling froggy, we can go up here to World's End and check them out as well. Because somewhere out there, someone has to have those kits at a discounted price that we can make money off of. So I've decided to stop at the way station here. I'll scroll out a little bit so you can see where I'm at from Black Desert City. There's a robotics facility here. And I thought I would check the prices, and it's not super good. However, that is not bad. That's still a little expensive, but that in particular is not too shabby. And we're seeing they're buying iron plates at 103% markup. Obviously, if we had more, we'd sell them there too, but we don't. But that's okay. 96% for power core is pretty great. Not many people, to my knowledge, sell them, except maybe the Skeleton City. That's okay. We're going to take that. And as you can see, we're at 100,000 already, and we're at day 7. 100K day 7. We've got Masterwork boots sitting there. We've got Masterwork armor. We've got a pretty good sword, a pretty good saber. We're really in a pretty good spot, all things considering. But we're not done yet. We are trying to find, relatively speaking, the best for our transportation speed and time and cost of items. So we know this place here, and this place here will be 88% below value. So that's, you know, a fair bit of markup if we bought all those and brought them back over to Heft. But again, from here to Heft, a bit of a walk. However, that is part of the trader lifestyle. We're going from point to sell, so that's a bit of a walk. But I want to see with the Hivers here, and I might even punch up to World's End here and see if there's a better cut than 88%. But that is still, again, because of the high value of the skeleton repair kit at a base 4,400, 88% below, even for selling at a base 100% value, that is still a pretty good cat's margin. Okay, you can see I am back at Henge, and I've done a fair bit of running around World's End, Squin. As a Shek, I obviously can't go into the Holy Nation, and the Great Desert here is a little too dangerous for my liking this early on. You will see I have been in some battles, obviously strength from carrying a lot of stuff, but pretty good toughness already just from getting my butt kicked. Pretty good melee defense. Obviously sabers and actual attack itself is low, but that's just the nature of this particular beast. You can see our good friend the Pack Bull has become an adult, and his combat stats have as well gone up. So you can see here we have purchased ourselves. We've gone from, 100,000 down to quite a bit. Some of that's been spent on food as I explore and try to find what over here might be a good price. Here in Henge, again, just for these skeleton repair kits, they're selling for 107%. I just checked with the barkeep here. In Heft, they're selling for 100%. So for just a smidgen of a profit, I could just go from Henge to here, or sorry, to Heft to Henge and sell. That's not quite a profit margin. I was able to get them over in this area for about, also this way station here. So hitting these places up for about the mid 80%. So not great, but it's not that 75% I had at a previous gameplay, but it's still okay. Still not going to be too bad. We're going to make some, decent money. And obviously, as we explore around, the whole point is, if we're picking a very particular product that we want to try to sell, is to find the lowest place we can buy it in the greatest quantity, and then of course, where can we sell it for the most money? So that's, trading basics 101, I suppose. And so we're just going to sell it all. And is it too late in the night? What is for that? What about over here? You're still open. You're still doing business. Of course, when your merchants only have about, the good merchants, the high-end merchants have about 25k a pop on them. So it's important when you decide what you're selling to make sure that what you're selling can actually handle what you're bringing in, because otherwise it's might be a bit of a pain just to try to get all your stuff sold at a decent time frame. But we have only a few more, so it looks like we will in fact turn something of a profit here. And already we'll go. Is this a bar? No, it's the police. We don't want to go to the cops. Where's the bar? That's a bar. I haven't been to that one before. I think I've... Oh, is it that one? We have not been to this one. Okay. Let's go to this one. Hello, friend. Please. And yeah, we'll sell those here. Get some teeth along the way. I've picked up. Yes, please. Okay, and you can see 115K. Not super great, but then again, our profit margin was not insane. Now, again, I've not explored all of the maps, so I do not know in this particular game seed where the sweet spot is for those repair kits. However, this is just an example of using something like repair kits as the medium for trade. And just due to their base high value, any kind of percentage between anything above 100% to sell for and anything under 100% to buy, as long as you have that initial seed money to actually buy them in any sort of bulk, you're going to do pretty okay in the cats. So you can see this is, you know, we're not even in 12 days yet, but again, I've not explored everywhere. So this could be more or fewer days depending on how your luck is, depending on where you go. You know, I didn't check the swamp. I don't know what they're like for repair kits. So you could get lucky. You could get a spot with 75%, you know, percentage of the selling price, and you could find somewhere, but you know, a couple of minutes run away for, you know, 100 plus, and so you could have yourself an insane just cats farm that way. But this was not my luck, not in this seed, not at this time. However, having reliable money in that regard is pretty great. And starting out this early, again, we've got that masterwork gear from the armory down south. That was part of our seed money. If for some reason we wanted to sell this, we could, but we don't. We want to keep it. It's really good armor. We've got a pretty solid saber going on. We're decently kitted, and we're getting ourselves, relatively speaking, a safe experience in terms of leveling up our abilities and our skills just from the travel. And that will be up to you in terms of your own restrictions as to what you choose to trade in, where you choose to trade. As a shack, again, I can't go to the United Cities, or sorry, not United Cities, but the Arcanite realm, right? They're going to attack me on site. So that's an area that is denied to me mechanically. Whether or not you choose to make one of those character that's denied like that, if you make a hiver, you can't go to any of the hive places. They're going to boot you out because you're hiveless. That could be a fun restriction. Maybe you choose not to deal with the United Cities themselves. Maybe you just want to trade in goods like leather or skin or ores that you purchase and sell from place to place. Whatever way you choose to go about it, currency, triple, not triple, but 6 digits worth of cats or more is very easily going to be your realm of existence. So however you choose to get there, that's up to you. This is just a super duper, I would say brief, but we all know if you've made it this far, it is not brief. It's been very rambly, but this is how you make money as a trader. And you can do this not as a trader. You can do this on any start. It doesn't matter, but where are they going? Is there a fight? Obviously in the town, keep your eyes open for a fight, because that's free money, but they were just zealous about ending the shift. And I will be very zealous about ending the video.